The world's biggest climate summit exploded into chaos on Tuesday when indigenous protesters stormed COP30 in Brazil's Belem, ripping down doors and clashing with guards. As drums thundered and chants of resistance filled the air, the Amazon's defenders say their forests are not for sale. But as they were being dragged out, one seat inside was conspicuously empty, that of President Donald Trump. The U.S. president, never a believer in climate change to begin with, pulled out of the Paris Agreement, calling climate change the greatest con job ever. And now, with anger on the streets and denials in the halls, COP30 has become the stage for a fierce new battle for the planet itself. Our next report has more.
It began with the sound of drums, a beat that echoed through the humid air of Belem, deep, urgent, unrelenting. Then came a chance, resistance. And before anyone could react, the gates of the COP30 climate summit were no longer gates at all. They were broken. Indigenous protesters, with their faces painted, feathers glinting under floodlights, surged forward. They pushed past barriers, ripped a door clean off its hinges, and stormed into the world's biggest climate conference. The place meant for quiet negotiation suddenly became a battleground of belief and fury. A clash between those who speak for the earth and those deciding its fate. For a moment, the symbol of global unity trembled under the weight of rage. And the question that filled the air wasn't about carbon targets or net zero timelines. It was who really gets to fight for the planet. Soon after, security guards sprinted toward the entrance. Protesters shoved, yelled, and waved banners reading, "Our forests are not for sale." Drums thundered, doors slammed, metal detectors toppled. One security guard was carried away in a wheelchair, clutching his stomach. Another was bleeding from the head, struck by a drum. UN officers used tables to barricade doors as the protesters fought to stay inside. Plastic bins flew through the air, and shouts turned to screams. Through the turmoil, one thing was clear: this wasn't random anger. It was years of neglect boiling over. Indigenous communities say billions are being spent to build a gleaming new city for COP30. While their schools crumble, their clinics fade, and their forests burn.
They are the government. It's a way of defending the space where it's being held at this moment. But for us, it's a moment of revolt, of indignation. It's a moment when we indigenous people feel the defeat of our territory in our skins.
That anger now filled the hall where world leaders talk about saving the earth. When the dust settled, the protesters were forced out. Fire brigade officers formed a human wall at the entrance. 2 guards were hurt. The venue was slightly damaged. The UN called it a protective action, saying the site is now fully secure. Nearly 200 countries are in Belem this week, wrestling over how to limit global warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius, a promise made 10 years ago in Paris and still far from reality. Yet even here, at the heart of the Amazon, hypocrisy hangs heavy. Brazil continues to approve new oil and gas licenses, while the forest, the protesters' home, keeps shrinking. The recent standoff has left a scar and a question. Because while tension spills onto the streets, inside those guarded halls, another kind of silence hangs heavy. Not every leader is there, and one absence speaks louder than most. The United States. President Donald Trump has chosen to sit this one out. He has called climate change the greatest con job ever perpetrated on the world. So, as delegates debate how to stop global warming, one of the world's biggest emitters is no longer part of the conversation. For a few tense minutes, the future of the planet was being fought over, not in meeting rooms, but at the doors of the venue itself. The Amazon has always been called the lungs of the earth. But for now, those lungs are screaming. The Amazon's defenders may have been pushed back, but their voices still echo beyond barricades. And when the last speech fades and the delegates go home, that sound will remain. A reminder that resistance does not end at the door of the summit. It begins there.
Want the facts?
The latest developments?
News that gets straight to the point.
Well, we've got all three just for you. This is Firstpost Live, a brand new show, your window into what really matters.
Don't miss it.